Thank you.
Okay, after a fantastic talk by my friend, philosopher, guide, big brother, Rajul, I have seen him pre-Harvard and post-Harvard, like people have seen others pre-COVID and post-COVID. I have seen him pre-Harvard and post-Harvard, and now I understand what education means. I bow down before you, all the teachers, principal, madam, for making us what we are. With that, we will start the panel discussion. So I have three panelists with me, and almost all three of them I know personally. So if I have to talk about, if I have to start with Reji, I have not seen a more dynamic businessman, a more compassionate, not only passionate, a more compassionate businessman than him. Ruby is, I don't know how to describe her. She is a globetrotter going around the world, collecting information, talking about ingredients. Whenever you talk to her, it's all about ingredients and business. Dr. Vijay Bambulkar is like the Ganges, the source of inspiration, the source of knowledge for a lot of people like me who are young in the cosmetic field and who want to learn a lot. So with that, let's start the panel discussion. Mr. Reji, let's start with you.
Sure.
So, how you being a businessman, you would be the best to describe the use or the demand of natural ingredients in industry. How do you look at it, or what comes to you on a daily basis when we talk about demand from the industry for natural ingredients?
Sure. Good morning to all. Being in the industry of home and personal care for last 16, 17 years, I would like to put my experience based on that experience. So I'll just tell what happened in terms of how this natural trend happened. I think eco-certified formed 1991. I think Cosmos organization, I think 2001. Am I right, doctor? Yeah. So how it all started is like possibly the consumer awareness on the synthetic chemicals harmless on the body. Like a lot of, I think in 2000s or 90s, 1,4-dioxane issue came up. Then carcinogenic effects of many ingredients like phthalates, those things comes up, and that's how it all started. And the eco certificate got more relevance, and that's how the whole trend happened. And last 5-6 years, the tendency towards the natural ingredient usage in the cosmetics has really gone up actually. So the numbers of the market already, Mr. Rajul has already explained, it's around 11 billion what we're seeing. So when I work with most of the clients which I have, number one criteria is vegan, cruelty-free, natural origin index of more than 90%. So this has become a day-to-day this thing. And what I understand is clean science, clean beauty should be somewhere around like 11 billion, and it's buzzing around, as Rajul said, it's going more and more. This what. So I encounter natural ingredient demand on a day-to-day basis, on hourly basis, I'll say.
Thank you so much. Dr. Vijay, moving on to you. Whenever we have interactions, you had mentioned to me that pharmaceuticals is close to 3 lakh crores of market in India, and cosmetics and cosmeceuticals is almost double the size. Now, when it is so, this morning I was discussing with Mr. Rajul Malde and Vinay Paranjpe that if cosmetics is such a big market, why don't we have as many cosmetologists in India as they should be against the market size? So what's your opinion on that?
I think, thank you first of all for inviting me here. And I think I can talk hours and hours, but given the mood here today, and I think I'm always telling to I'm pharmacist by profession, medicinal chemist, hardcore, synthetic chemist, and this is a natural. We are talking about synthetic and natural. It's a really paradox here. So your question is why there are not so many cosmetologists. We give the statistics, I think we have 2,000 degree colleges of pharmacists, and we get something like 2 lakhs of pharmacists. And a lot of pharmacists are filling the positions in cosmetic area because cosmetologists are not, or cosmetic technologists are not available. And that's where I think there are only 8 colleges of cosmetics, and they are giving only 120 qualified, skilled technologists. That's the reason the industry is so vast and pharmacists are coming, they are filling the post. BSc chemistry, biotechnologists are coming, and there is a gap being filled because whatever pharmacists have all the skills and knowledge that can be directly applied to the cosmetic industry. That's where the opportunity is there, whether it is natural or whatever.
So do you also think that all these students who are doing their undergrad or postgrad with pharmacy should be equipped with special skills to take over cosmetology now that the consumer is becoming more
Yes.
demanding?
Yes. I think Pharmacy Council of India, I think ma'am is sitting here. They have unfortunately put cosmetic science or cosmetic technology as optional subject, focusing only on drug. When I studied as a bachelor, we had 200 marks. I think madam also of my age, I think. So we studied 200 marks of cosmetic technology in our undergraduates. And here the issue is that in M-Pharm pharmaceutics, there is advanced cosmeceuticals directly. There is no basic. So the rightly, I think NMIMS or SVKM has started bridge course or what is called a certificate course. The basic skills and knowledge which is required to get into cosmetic industry, that is already there. So I request, this message should go to all the pharmacy colleges that they should have that bridge course or whatever skills and gap which is started by BNCP here. So very much appreciate. They are the leaders. Ma'am wants to say something.
So the need of this certificate course came from students itself. The moment we saw that the PCI has changed the syllabus where cosmetics has gone into elective, students came up so we had a kind of a quick survey that what all kind of short-term skill development programs do you need? So cosmetics was one of that. And we also had at BNCP, we have one of our alumni who is in cosmeceuticals and perfumeries, his own business. And that's where we had called him. And we saw that students were quite interested into the program, and that's where we started with the certificate course. And I must tell members as well as students that Vijay Bambulkar sir is one of the main resource person as a trainer for our students. So thank you very much sir for accepting our invitation. And students are very happy, I must say, the feedback which I'm getting from students, that they are getting very good information, very relevant information from you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
So ma'am, while your thrust is on pharmacy, it is good that people who are not feeling well through pharmacy, they will feel well. But they also need to look beautiful. So you need to create some more cosmetologists, right? That's also important. So when they're feeling well, they should look beautiful. Moving on to you, the globetrotter, Ruby. How is the demand for natural products globally? How do you see it?
Good morning, everybody. It's definitely on an upward trend. Consumers nowadays, they're more aware of using more natural products. They're more into buying natural products. And at the same time, manufacturers, they really put up research department only to create products which has natural ingredients in it.
Thank you so much. Students, I have been seeing Ruby for the last 10 years. And for the last 10 years, she has been working with natural products only, no synthetic product in the products that she has formulated in case of cosmeceuticals. So per se, her own contribution to natural origin index of products is really great. And she should be a source of inspiration for all of you who want to make your career in cosmeceuticals. Thank you so much. Moving on to you, Mr. Reji. You work with a lot of startups. How do you see the demand for natural ingredients in cosmetics? Is it more from the established companies or is it from the startups? What is your take on that?
Coming to the startups, actually, that's something to think for the students as well. fortunately, we have made a database and more than 300 startups, I'll say D2C, we have listed already. So I work with close to 100 of startups, and I see there is a huge opportunity for somebody from the cosmetics science background. That's a big industry yet to be evolved actually. So many places there is no cosmetologist, and senior people like Bambulkar sir, they must be contributing there. That's why they're coming up. So what I see is, to answering your question, like I'll say yes and no, because D2C works trying to bring a USP which others traditional companies not having. So naturally is the one claim which they try to always explain, and they come with so much of explanation in their website, like hero ingredients and what it does to your skin or hair, biodegradability, everything it is explained. But there is a set of D2C clients where they work on only on the results, the parameters of delivery on the skin. Like somebody is claiming like a skin lightening with 7 weeks. They don't go with the natural alone. They look at the synthetic molecule which give the results. And but the general trend, if you ask, is highly inclined towards natural, because they always talk about the hero ingredients, which is more natural, and that's what they try to bring it the difference compared to the traditional for FMCG companies.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure.
So on the startups and students here, I'm a regulatory person as well. And if you want to start a pharma factory or pharma industry or pharma product, regulations are, they are higher. Whereas cosmetics, people, even regulatory authorities look little, say, okay, this is external, this is not internal. So startup is easy. And the regulatory people take little lenient view, and they allow, okay, this is possible. And the GMP standards are really not that high, like US FDA and all that, but you can manage with whatever facilities available. Another point on the startup is that there is no regulation for starting pet cosmetics, animal, dog shampoo, or mice stick or whatever. So any cosmetics going for pets, cats or dogs or whatever, there is no regulation. You can do in your kitchen and start selling tomorrow. There is no license required. So it's absolutely free. You can start. Same technology what you use for human being, same can be used for pet as well. So easiest startup is this e-marketing, D2C. They are easy to put on this, and you can manufacture in your kitchen. That's easy, so easy.
So moving on to you again on the same lines, it is, as industry, we find it extremely difficult to prove the efficacy of a product in terms of natural against synthetic. And I think here is where academics can play a great role, because I have personally seen the laboratory of BNCP college or colleges equivalent to that stature. And that is where the academics can play, or the students can play a lot of role. But what is the mechanism for companies like us to actually have a list of tests available to prove the naturality of a product, or how they call it as natural origin index of a product? How do we go about it?
Two parts of it. One is you're talking about claim efficacy of that, and generally sales and marketing tendency is that put the natural ingredient and say this natural ingredient does so much good. But does your formulation does that? Say, because they add only for, say, vitamin A is added. Is it added at the right concentration? Then only it will work. So this is a marketing gimmick for the naturals, that they put the ingredients for the namesake, whereas the active concentration is not there, or cosmeceutical what you say. So that is not there. So the formulation will never deliver efficacy. So when we are adding any naturally active compound, it should be added at that percentage given, and entire data should be generated at the back end from the formulation. Of course, there will be data on the actives, which is technical data sheet is there. So it is a raw material, it will be there. But for the formulation, you should have some formulation, guide formulation should be available. And those should be tested in vitro, in vivo, both are available. Not animal testing is allowed. And there are many, I think, college, I don't know whether they have the facilities, but I work with Vijay College, they have clinical testing of cosmetics. There is a laboratory specially, like something like 25,000 square feet, huge lab is there, and they do clinical testing of cosmetics. You name efficacy and they will do the test. So that's one, but there are many other all over India. They can give you the claim substantiation. By the way, this is not mandatory from the regulatory point of view. They take only declaration that your product performs.
Okay.
If consumer complaint is there, Advertising Standard Council of India complains that this product is not working as per the promise, brand promise given, then there will be case. Otherwise, there is a simple undertaking given by FDA, I mean your manufacturer is giving, this works. But if it doesn't work, then there will be a problem.
Thank you so much.
Which I just want to add one point.
Yeah.
Most of the D2C, they try to claim the ingredients by the ingredient suppliers and they try to market it in the front line.
Okay.
Ideally, and they depend American skin or Caucasian skin, like that. So I think an institute in India can do an Indian skin or Indian hair. That somebody specializes, that's a big opportunity, I'll say. At least for the
It's
D2C.
everywhere, available everywhere, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good message for the students as well. Whatever they do, it should be ethical, because anything that you create as a cosmeceutical would have an effect on the consumer who is using it. So it's time that, the young generation, the Gen Z or X or Y, whatever Rajulmal they called it, they should be more responsible while using ingredients. They need to be more ethical while using the ingredients. And I'm sure the younger generation would do it. Moving on to you, Ruby, how do you see the demand globally when we talk about natural products? Is it are more products being asked by the hair care formulators, by the skin care formulators, how does it go?
Okay, so globally, I'm actually more focused in cosmetics, skincare, personal care, home care, and some industrial cleaning industry. But even so, I can see that even in food industry, the demands for natural ingredients or natural additives are there. But based on my experience, we still have the skincare and hair care, which is like at the top. At the same time, actually, I have to add also in industrial cleaning, like even in like the household cleaning or CIP cleaning in place for factories. They are also asking for more natural, environmental friendly cleaning solutions. So it's not only now in cosmetics and cosmetics and food. So the demand for natural ingredients and environmental friendly natural ingredients are growing. So it goes through like cleaning, CIP cleaning as well.
So you work in a lot of countries, and I think your company UMC supplies ingredients in a lot of countries. So how is the demand for natural ingredients in the markets that are being served by UMC? I mean, does it come from the developed countries? Does it come from the developing or the underdeveloped countries? How does that go?
That is a very good question. To be honest, actually, most of developed countries, they're actually more into the one which wants to do this natural ingredient or like develop products that contains natural ingredients. They are probably there are those markets which who wanted to like do something more for their people, unlike like other first world countries are like, how do you define it? But yeah, most of them, they have already like set up standards, and it's difficult for them to like try something new. But for other markets, like they are like willing to do something. They are also like this now, supporting startups, new ideas. They're very open to that as compared to like the most developed countries.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Reji, in India it is always said that in case of a product, the price sells first, the strategy sells second, and then everything else sells. Now, while natural ingredients are supposed or assumed to be on a costlier side, uh, how easy or difficult do you find in case of pushing the sales of natural ingredients in terms of price?
In my experience, the D2C has brought a lot of change in it, which was not happening in the earlier of the traditional, because cost was always the primary focus. Like Rijulbhai told in the morning, they compare, the purchase officer always compares kg versus kg, not the efficacy or dosage, basically. So there's a big change. Now, what I see is like if the active is delivering, people are ready to pay the price. Because before 10 years, I never imagined any of my client will buy a product more than 10,000 rupees. Today, we are able to sell some product which is more than 1 lakh rupees a kg. And based on the efficiency, people are accepting the fact. So there's a big change. And even coming to the some of the ingredients, when you buy from a synthetic versus natural, let's say anti-acne salicylic acid, a normal salicylic acid is available at 450 rupees, whereas if you go for a natural source, it is 4,500. But people are paying for it, and the market is evolving towards that. So I'll say the trend is really in the positive direction, but challenge is the how you bring it down to make it more popular. So in surfactant side earlier, SLES, people are moving towards APGs, now sarcosinate, many things are happening. So I say that we are in the right track, I will say.
Good. Students, you have any questions, you're free to ask. Yeah. Do you want this mic?
Hello. First of all, welcome to all the judges and thank you for the question. I have one habit that whenever I go to the market, I look at the natural products that are placed on the shelves. And one thing that I have noticed is that most of the products I feel they mention about the natural ingredients, but somewhere or the else there are preservatives and other ingredients which are the excipients along with it and which are not natural like completely. And I believe then that the entire product goes into just marketing it in the name of natural and it's not completely natural. So how we can have a natural product that's completely having all the natural ingredients right from the binders, the preservatives and also the main API. Because like for just an example, there's a product from Parachute and others, like it's basically cream for hair, but it has triethanolamine and such kind of excipients. So then it just completely loses the essence of being natural, and then I feel that it's just kind of marketing gimmick and kind of a Western thing trying to bring it into India.
So, Dr. Bambulkar,
I can take. So, good question. I think that has given me some thing which I wanted to share with you as a student. So, the first thing, do you know banana or aloe vera? Let's take aloe vera. Okay, aloe vera. How many chemicals are there? Any guess? I don't have chocolate to give, but you can guess. Aloe vera. Is aloe vera single ingredient? Is a natural, right? Everybody accepts. If you analyze, 108 chemicals are there. This given, you Google it, you will get it. Aloe vera has 108 chemicals in it. So, is a chemical and natural, they are antagonists? They are opposite to each other? No. Every natural product has a chemicals. And what level it is there, that makes a difference. So you want to have how much natural is there? There is a regulation. ISO regulation is there. I think 16873, some number. And also Indian standard. India has also adopted that. You can calculate exact natural index. Sir was asking me how to calculate. Is the illustration is given. And products, cosmetic products can really give the percentage of natural index, whether it is 90%, 100% or banana has a 58 ingredients which are chemical. So if you want to sell a banana as a cosmetic, you have to label those in descending order and all that. Aloe vera for that matter, if you want to sell that, 98% is water, but 108 ingredients, chemical ingredients are there. So that's the difference between chemical and, for that matter, every chemical is a hazardous. They say you're free from chemicals. And then the new claim comes, which is free from hazardous chemicals. I mean, if you drink water 7 liters, you will die because of water. So how much you take, you are all pharmacists and many of you are pharmacists, dose makes a lot of difference. So a lot of natural. I gave consultancy one product in the market, they say natural. But what is natural? Brand name is natural. But what is inside, all are chemicals. Naturally, I think there are several. So there is a connotation which is negative with chemistry, and for that matter, chemicals. So I think I remember DuPont in 1938, they had a tagline, make better things, better living through chemistry. DuPont, if you see, their tagline was better living, better things through chemistry. With the consumer not expecting chemistry from them, they have dropped chemistry after 40 years. It is not there in the tagline. They're like there was International Journal of Cosmetic Chemists. They have changed it to cosmetic science. Because chemistry has that chemicals and all that negative connotation. But the fact of life, aloe vera has 108 chemicals. It is natural. So I think we as a scientist, we should differentiate between chemicals, harmful chemicals and natural chemicals. So there is a biosynthesis. So you can synthesize like a tocopherol or some, you can synthesize in lab. Salicylic acid, you can make in lab as well as. Properties are exactly similar. There is no difference between that. So don't discriminate between chemicals and natural because they are similar things. What is origin is it makes difference.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
I
please,
just
please.
add? So yes, natural. Actually, it's quite confusing term because like everything around you, it's natural. Everything that you can see in the environment, that is natural. But in cosmetics language or in cosmetology language, natural is more of like plant-based ingredients. So, and in personal care term, there is a term we call clean beauty, which is like plant-based but more sustainable because like not all plant-based are good for your skin.
Yeah.
Not all extracts are good for the skin or like good for the environment. So there's what we call clean beauty, which is like a higher degree of like the term natural. So yeah, just adding that point.
So recently, Economic Times, the brand equity version of Economic Times, carried a very good article on clean beauty. I think I'll share it with Professor Tabassum, and she can share it with all of you. It has very good insights to what Dr. Bambulkar and Ruby are saying, that clean beauty has, in terms of cosmetics, clean beauty has become an elder brother or elder sister of natural. And I never knew banana has 58 chemicals. So henceforth, when you eat banana, you remember the word 58, or when you apply aloe vera, remember the word how many? 100?
108.
108. My God. So, sir, but it's very difficult as a consumer or as students if they want to start startups, or as consumers for us to understand. So are there any steps being taken? Because I really find, and I'm going to go down now, and I really find one comment on natural very interesting, and that is from Mr. Vinay Paranjpe. The way he defines natural is, I think, very natural. He defines natural very naturally. And it's a completely different take, and the world needs these amount of takes on natural to be, for chemistry to be more responsible. So it is high time that now scientist or science starts becoming more responsible. But on the regulatory front, what do you think? How easy or difficult for is it for
It
the
is
country?
very straightforward.
It's very straight.
Because regulation has, because of this confusion between consumers, ISO, which is World Trade Organization, accepts everything. So they have defined what is natural, what is, I mean, vegan, cruelty, and all those are different things. People interpret it differently. To avoid the confusion, they have defined what is natural, what is organic. They have defined in 3 words. I don't have the definition right now. We can share that in ISO regulation. You put ISO and natural and organic, you will get the definitions there, and that's adopted by Indian standard, Bureau of Indian Standard. So definition is very clear. Percentage of natural you can calculate and put on your label.
Can we have the mic with Mr. Paranjpe, please? Any volunteer? Sir,
Yes.
We were discussing your take on natural, and you said that, my definition of natural is naturally very different.
See, it is
and
like
what
this.
do I, so let me complete so that students understand. And he said, what do I do by coming to a natural specialty ingredients conference? Because my take on natural is completely different. And I found it very interesting because UMC as an organization has been serving close to more than 50 countries. And after globetrotting for 50 countries and having interacted with so many industries, if your definition of natural is so different, I would want the students to hear it. If you can stand up, I mean, is it okay?
Yeah, okay. See, 32 countries, not 50. We only exist in 32. Okay, see, I look at it like this. We look at petroleum products or synthetic as different from natural, but in reality, we make them from what is available on this earth. Everything that is available on this earth is natural, right? Nothing falls from the sky. Correct? So when we mean plant origin or animal origin, there is, I feel, there's a very simple way of discriminating between plant origin and otherwise. See, synthetic will have isomers which are mirror images. So you can immediately make out 50% of the product is a mirror image of the other. So you have 2 isomers when you synthesize anything. For example, vitamin E, you will have lever rotatory and dextrorotatory. Lever rotatory gets absorbed. So synthetic that way becomes that much less effective. You have to have overdosage of that. Fine, let's keep this aside. Now coming to natural or plant origin. Very simple definition I feel is if you have even number of carbon chains, even number of carbon in the chain, it is necessarily a plant origin product. That's a very easy way to look at it. If you have a petroleum origin product, it will even have odd number of carbon chains. So that even number and odd number is a better differentiator than anything else. We can extract out of those 108, we extract 1 or 2 items from aloe vera and call it 200x. Right? Then it becomes a chemical because it is extracted. But we still say source is natural. Look at the carbon chain. It's very simple. If it's even number, it has to be natural. That's what I would say. I hope it will
I think
help.
absolutely this is given in the odd and even number. This is plant origin, mineral origin.
Correct.
But both are not natural.
Both are natural. Absolutely. That's what I was trying to
So
say.
you can say plant origin.
Plant origin should be even
Yeah,
number.
that-
Correct. That's what I'm trying to say.
Another terminology is on natural is a recycling. People are talking of sustainability and 100% recyclable,
Yeah.
including now packaging material.
Yes.
So more than natural, what is the claim is recycling is a new claim,
Sustainable.
and generation Z or whatever you call, they are aware about it. And they are ready to pay more for that recyclable things and sustainable things.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Reji, coming on to you, for the students to understand, who is the key decision maker in case of changing the formulation of a product or using a natural product into the formulation, is that from the industry perspective I'm talking, is it the research and development people, is it the purchase people, is it top driven, is it bottom driven? Who takes the decision?
I think in the traditional company, it's a combined decisions. But because every company has a DNA or we say philosophy, like Himalaya is known in this way, natural, biotic is Ayurvedic centered. So there it's very clearly defined. But other in D2C, it is absolutely market driven. The people who is marketing, they decide. R&D works toward the reverse side actually. They come up with the concept and matching with it. This is what I've seen in the industry mostly happening.
Thank you so much, students. Any more questions? Yeah, can you please?
Hello.
Yes. Sorry.
Hi. This question to Dr. Bambulkar. Here, sir. First
That's
row.
it. That's it.
Yeah. It's very interesting to know that pet care is regulated. Of course, yeah. I mean, is maybe for everyone's benefit. I just want to know that there are small organizations like KVIC would also promote, cosmetics. I mean, it is known that, soaps and all, people used to make it home and all. Do you actually do require FDA licensing for that, or how is that happen? I mean,
Now, for human consumption, license is required.
okay,
If you manufacture soap in kitchen for human consumption, license is mandatory.
okay,
For pet, if you say dog soap, no license.
perfect.
That's it.
Thank you. And one more connecting to the carbon and carbon chain thing. Very surprised to see in recent times, we have these alkanes coming, very short chain alkanes, and which are natural. Which I got to know recently only that, there's a chemical process they do for fractionating, or maybe the basic source itself is a triglyceride, not the fossil fuel. I mean, I'm not very sure about maybe moving forward to whether that equation still works for us. I mean, let's say C10C or C9C13 alkane, kind of very short chain alkanes, which are nowadays available naturally. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Any more questions? Yeah. There.
Hello. Hello to all the dignitaries here. My name is Aditi and I'm in the second year of my UG program. So my question is that every drug has some kind of side effects, and when it comes to synthetic drugs, medical chemists have a lot of computer-aided drug designing where they design or synthesize a molecule with least side effects or like maximum efficacy and safety. So why totally try to eliminate synthetic compounds and move on to natural? And if we do so, how are we met by the supply chain demand and problems like cultivation to source out phytoconstituents from the plant source that we use for the compounds?
Sorry, I will take it. Using synthetic chemicals, if I understand correctly, I think you're saying why not to use natural ingredients? Can you just again let me rephrase it?
My question was, if we use computer drug design and make molecules that are efficacious, why move on to natural products?
Okay. First thing, natural products give reactions. As I said, it's not that natural is safe and pure and ultimate. No, that's not there. That concept, you take it out. And at the same time, you are saying you do molecular modeling and see that there is no side effect and all. But still, that is not true, because reaction to a drug is very individual. If I may be, say, they will find out statistically, it is biology. Everybody will not be, there are there are shocks which come which are not predicted. No, there is a terminology for in medical terminology, but so individual reaction will be always there. However, whatever you do molecular modeling, there will be some people will be dying because of that. So you can have, I think, side effects of adverse event of natural products, they are always there. Percentage may be less or more, depends on individual. So some ethnicity will have more, some ethnicity will have less, but you can't really say that natural products are 100% safe. That's not possible. So whatever you do, modeling and all that, molecular modeling, you can apply in phytochemicals. They call biosynthesis. They take natural products and they biosynthesize from it and make it less adverse event and all those type. Those things are also possible.
But I also like the way you put across supply chain in it. I mean, a student of your age thinking about the supply chain of ingredients is also quite fascinating for a person like you.
Thank you, sir.
Very good question.
Chemistry to natural chemistry when we get
Natural is not against chemistry. Natural is also chemistry.
So the balance has to be maintained, right? It is a time where, balance has tilted in favor of certain ingredients because they are easy to use, because they are cheap, they are easily miscible in the products, and they have been spoken about. You want? So they have been spoken about. Can somebody get the mic to Rajul, please?
Aditi, right? Question came from? You're listening to what I was saying? Perceptions, my dear. Why are we doing this? Because the world perceives natural against synthetic to be better. So we should not challenge what the world thinks. We should deliver what the world wants.
She also needs to understand why are we delivering this conference and why she is being sitting here for the last couple of hours. She needs to understand, right? So the balance has tilted in favor of certain ingredients, and this is a movement globally. I think you should read that article which was in Brand Equity. I will share it with Professor Tabassum. By and far on clean beauty, that has been one of the fantastic articles that I have read of late.
So another thing is that I think we started off with natural products.
Yes.
Thousands of years ago. Then we had an era or maybe around 50 to 75 years of synthetic chemistry. Now we are moving back to natural.
So why did you say no to become a panel member? Now you're sitting there and explaining all of it. Sir, it will be interesting to take your take on this. Is it okay if I... yes? Can we get...
I think one of the panel members, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, Bambulkar. You were saying that the world was started hating chemistry, chemical engineering, and things like that. How we have understood natural as the chemistry, you called Pancha Mahabhutas, right?
Correct.
That is nature, right? Agni, Vayu,
Jal, Agni, Vayu, Prithvi, Akash.
That's chemistry, That's what, see, you have a modern chemistry and you have a sort of, science of all Unani, Ayurveda and all that, which traditional sciences. I think globally, last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, there's a strong stream movement towards naturals, and because I think there is a scientific evidence, the same science which created difficulties like side effects. One of the students mentioned about side effects and things like that. So the same science is creating evidence, and that's why we sort of have a conference like this to answer Aditi. I don't know who is Aditi.
Yes.
Aditi, yeah.
So Aditi, you have become a hero.
You are a hero now. You're questioning the raison d'etre. as we call it, raison d'etre, why at all, why have a natural conference on naturals? The world is moving in that direction, and there's a scientific, the same modern science as doctor talked about, is creating an evidence that natural is better and creates less difficulties and have more wellness.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So, Aditya, I'll tell you one interesting story also. While the naming ceremony of this conference was happening, I was on a WhatsApp chat parallelly with the other directors, and the word green chemistry came around, and I was very fascinated that let us put the word green chemistry in the conference. And Rajul spoke about perception management. So, so he very quickly jumped on into, until then he was silent on the group. Very patiently, both Vinay and me discussing, ye naam rakhte hai, wo naam rakhte hai. And he said, no, the word chemistry should not be there. That abused, as Dr. Bambulkar, that abused the word chemistry has become. So that no was so long, the O was so long, as if a old song went, and it was actually both of them in another 2.5 minutes after that, both of them coined this term that let us go as natural specialty ingredients conference. So we had a lot of, the naming ceremony has not wo बुआ आई, अत्या आई, मौसी आई, सब आके वो सेरेमनी हुआ है. तो आप अभी ऐसे पूछोगे कि why is this conference happening?
I did not intend to do that.
No. Simon Sinek puts it in a very, very nice way. Until you understand the why. So why you have become the hero now, I have understood that why. Because you have challenged the basic fundamental. मैं synthetic use कर सकती हूँ, तो मेरे को यहाँ बिठा के natural क्यों कर रहे हो आप? So the why has been answered. So all stalwarts had to come in. Rajul, Professor Shah, Dr. Bambulkar, stalwarts came into, so she deserves a round of applause, and she deserves a Cadbury also, without any question. So can we have the Cadbury? Where is Abhishek?
Thank you so much, sir. I got it.
Okay, so if we
so,
are, yes.
So actually, I had a tail question to this only.
दे दिया ना Cadbury अभी.
So it's just that now that we abide by the natural product scheme, what are industries doing? Like what technologies do we have currently? Like cultivation is a major problem when you have to extract phytoconstituents from all the plant sources. So the land, despite the agricultural land shortages that we face in India, what are the industries currently into? I want to know that.
It's a very broad, but yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Aditi, for the question, and I'll just take a permission to say a few words build on these two questions. So my name is Neha, and I'm from Ila Biomarine Private Limited. We are specialized into marine biotechnology actives. So now why I'm speaking about it is, first of all, green is not only land plants, it also includes plants under the water, which are seaweeds, where we have the speciality. Land plants, there is a limitation where you are talking about agricultural land. There is a lot of hunger going on, and there is a lot of tree cutting because of the population explosion. Okay, so a bit solution to it is about marine biotechnology. Our Earth has 70% of water, and there is a lot of kelp forest growing below the sea. So there is something. Addition to that, we have started our life as a single unicellular cell, and it's basically from the seawater. And we are talking about the actives coming from these sea waters, which are available in bioionic form and easily absorbed in the skin. Now, why the conference? Or why we are turning to green? The question to that is, as everybody has rightly said, we have started with green, which is from our kitchen. Then we have went with science to chemistry, and now we are coming back to green chemistry. So chemistry is always there, it's always going to be there. The conference today happening is because green is now associated with science, which is provable, and that's why we are having this conference. Addition to that, there is a environmental factor. We have seen when we were using chemistry, there has been certain challenges to human and the environment, and we are trying to bring back the equilibrium to green and science together. That's why I think we are having this conference. And yeah, that's what meant to say. Green is just not land, green is also below the water. So I think you should all expand a bit of horizon, especially students. Blue biotechnology is something which is coming in the green area, and it has been exploited world around, specifically to the countries who are developed markets like Europe and US, but Asians are not far behind. So think about that perspective as well.
Thank you so much, Aditi. And I
So,
think
with your permission, let me
Yeah.
give a last perspective. I don't know, the time is running out.
Yes.
I think she brought a very good point, and your point also. What industry is doing about it, and what industry should do it about it. And she talked about environment. There is a something like social and governance, ESG. I think if you Google this, you'll get a lot of ESG. And believe me, I think we have international people here. Those who follow ESG principle in natural, their profit is up by 30%. This is a data given, global data. If you follow environment, sustainability, social responsibility to the farmers, how the labors are used, ethically are you doing it? So there is an entire thing on the social thing, and finally governance. Government is also involved into this. If you do, they give extra incentive to do natural chemistry or natural products. So there is a, from regulatory perspective, Biodiversity Act is there. If you don't do it, of your turnover, 2 to 5% is taken away. It is mandatory to give to government also. So there is, if you are pulling out earth, then there is a penalty for that. And you do it responsibly. Carbon footprint and all those things to be, So if you do that, government is giving more incentive and 30% profit is up. So those who are following those principles, one of my friend from Indian Society of Cosmetic Chemists, Dr. Anjan Ray, is responsible to promote that ESG. And if anybody, any industry wants that, I can connect with him. What are the government scheme on getting that ESG benefits?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I forgot your name. Neha, thank you so much for your wonderful answer. Now no more question from you, Aditi. Cadbury Diana? Okay, so with this, we come to end of a very good interactive panel discussion. I thank Ruby, Reji and Dr. Vijay Bambulkar for a wonderful interaction. I thank Mr. Vinay Paranspe for his good take on the definition of natural, Professor Shah for his inputs. Madam, आप वहाँ बैठ के पैनल एंकर कर रहे हो, आप सही में मतलब she is हाँ बिठाना चाहिए. Chemistry is life. Yes, that's true. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.